you need to back it up. You need to have a proper strategy to go all in.
Rue, start the show!
Badass!
I'm Beatrice, your badass branding strategy girl, and welcome to the Art of Branding Badassery podcast. Rue expects your best branding game. You don't want to miss out on 95% of your audience, do you? Heck yeah! Today's episode is all about positioning, the vibes and direction of your brand, and how brand archetypes can play a part. And to dive into this, we've got on a water lemony brand video and content consultant with over 20 years of sales and marketing experience. He's worked with everything from video games to beer. Get ready to meet Marcos Bravo, aka the Water Lemon Guy. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you for inviting me, Beatrice. How are you today?
I'm amazing. Yourself?
Oh, pretty good. The weather is nice, so I can't complain.
Oh yeah, it started monsoon season here, so got like the cowgirl boots on.
Get ready for it.
So I hear your first job was a character in Disney World. Spill the goss. Like, what was it like?
It was, and I hate to say this to all of my other employers that I had afterwards, but that will be always the best job I ever had in my life.
Hell yeah.
It was absolutely the best. I will just show up there, dress up as a character, and just make people happy. To be honest, that's definitely what started my journey into marketing too. It's like, wow, It takes so little to make people happy and feel good. For you discovering these little things, it really made me that's why it was definitely the best. It was the job that shaped me for the future.
I love that. So which character did you play?
Well, I was Dale as a part-time job. And I was also a Jungle Cruise skipper. So I was sort of like an Indiana Jones kind of character. And I'll drive a boat into the rivers of the world with all these animals coming to attack you and awful jokes. And it was a really cheesy, cool experience. But people loved it. I mean, it's one of the original games that there was in Magic Kingdom in Orlando. It started in California, but yeah. It sounds very weird,
very different to the one that we've seen in Australia. So there's no Disney World as such. We've got Movie World, we've got Sea World, Wet and Wild.
You have the Warner Bros, right? Like all of those characters. Those are cool too.
Yes, very different. So I'll have to go and visit one day. I'm very curious. There's branding consultants out there that are for using brand archetypes to help position businesses and those against. What's your take?
I never use them. And I'm going to be super honest. I don't use them because I'm trying to, and this is a word that became much more of a buzzword lately, right? Everybody talk about authenticity. So I try to apply that in a way that is authentic. So the work that I do with brands or companies or whatever is try to unearth something that already exists. I don't try to put them in certain places or blocks or try to use something that, you're this sort of brand, so we're going to work on that. It's to sort of create a brand from scratch, create a persona from scratch. And I know people hate the word personas and all of it, but I really enjoy the process of, who you are as a brand. What are your values? What are your feelings? How do you feel about this or that? How you want to communicate? And in discovering those little things, create some sort of a unique persona. You're supposed to be as unique as people. Maybe you will fit in a common space, but you should sound like unique. You should sound like a person, like someone you want to have a chat with. So that's sort of the direction I take usually.
Exactly. Just have a certain vibe to it. Do you have any success stories to share where you've done that?
There's not many that I can really disclose as brands or whatever, but there are many actions that we did as brands that they always stay in my mind. For example, there was a video game company that we worked on. One of the things I changed, it was like, well, why don't we talk as the marketing team? Because we were all cool. There were all cool people in there. And they were all gamers too. So why don't we stop talking about things as the company and we bring certain personality to it? And it changed the way gamers saw the company as well. They were like, wow, these people are like us. Even though we never identify as one person doing the posts or anything. But we brought that gamer vibe into it. Like the way that we were into the persona of social media, right? And it changed everything. I mean, since then, it was one of those good companies that everybody loves. And again, for example, things like we did with live chat is someone that I can talk to, is how we included a voice to it. Live chat didn't have any voice, which is a very well-known brand, but with no personality at all. And I started creating video for it and creating sort of like podcasts and things and started relating to the people and looking at the camera and talking to them directly with the things that they want to know. And people started falling in love with it again. So it was just those little things that happen in every brand. It's just those little things that make you connect.
And so you mentioned gaming, and you've worked with such a diverse range of products and services. When it comes to positioning, what's the secret sauce that you used that make brands really stand out from the crowd?
It's definitely the tone of voice.
Yeah.
Branding has many parts, right? But it's the tone of voice that is going to make the difference. I mean, you see personalities around you, you see celebrities, but what really gets you to do that click with a specific one is like, oh, look how they talk. It's like they're talking to me. It's like that tone is so motherly, and all of these little things that it just makes you relate to the right person. And that's sort of the magic behind, right? That's sort of the word behind. You create this tone of voice not to relate to everybody, for everybody to like you. You know your customers, so you develop something that talks to them, to relates to them. So I think tone of voice is what really makes the magic happen. It's like how your messaging is being delivered. It's like the old saying, like, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Hell yeah. And do you use word banks in that case? Do you implement that to like have a little bit of a dictionary of go-to words for a certain brand?
In the beginning, I think in the beginning, I usually do a very sort of formal process, right? Like I have a document that, okay, here, this is our buzzwords. This is how we start talking. And these are the things that we say. But you need to be super open to evolve, because even the words that you're using, they change so fast. I mean, like listening to my kids talk is, wow, what are you saying? It's like, I cannot use that word in any sentence. I don't know where you get it from. But then you understand that that's how certain groups are talking. They talk different things. They talk different ways. They use different words. Mm-hmm. So I definitely recommend to use them. Like you create this little bank to start, right? But then you need to be super open to like, all right, well, let's change direction. People don't talk like that anymore. They don't use this word anymore. What are they doing? And sort of be a step ahead. And if you manage to do that, then you can even lead by creating your own sort of word bank that is going to move things forward as you leading. Like, whoa, I like this.
Exactly.
So it's a cool process, really.
And it even depends on what social media platform it is. So how can brands leverage these social media platforms and even video content to enhance their positioning? Are there any underrated tactics or trends that we should be paying attention to?
I think my favorite is you need to break the rules for sure. But before you break the rules, you need to learn the rules, right? So you need to understand how all of your competition are talking. How are the competitors saying things before you do something completely opposite? And that's why for example, usually the underdogs are the ones that eventually take the lead, because they show up saying like, look, everybody's trying to sell you that. We don't care. We're just here for you. And obviously not with those sort of bro words. But when you find the right message to say like, look, you want to go anywhere, that's fine, but we're here for you. And you put that message in a way that relates is when you sort of take that lead. Before taking that lead and before doing the sag when everybody's singing, you need to understand why are they using certain things? Why are they talking in a certain way? Because usually it's a trend, right? Everybody wants to be in the trend. But if you manage to read things better, you can create those trends. Even it might be a smaller niche. It might be a smaller group of people following this new trend that you're creating. But those are your most precious asset. Like those are your loyal followers that they will stay with you. Doesn't matter what.
They're really, those diehard fans that regardless of whatever happens, they're going to be there. Have you seen a lot of times where people have done that wrong?
I think they make mistakes. One of the latest mistakes, it's not latest anymore, but I remember when Clubhouse, right? They showed up and they created such a cool FOMO. It's like, no, you can only invite a couple of people to join.
Yeah.
And people were desperate on LinkedIn. It's like, can you invite me to Clubhouse? I need to check it out. Like everybody started joining. Clubhouse didn't have anything to back it up. Like they didn't have a good product that was really valuable, and it died really quick. So one of the biggest mistakes on the brand and messaging is to go too far, go and overpromise what you do, or even overpromise on your own style. You can show up imagine you show up in a party with a cool dress, and suddenly you're the cool girl. But then on the next party, you're showing up with jeans and t-shirt for the rest of every single one. So it's suddenly like, she used to be so cool. What happened to her? Like she showed up with that, like she totally blinded us with that style, and then suddenly there was no really style. It was just the dress. So it's something that brands need to do, is to make sure, like, look, if we're going to go all cool, we go all cool. We kind of just do that specific thing to go viral and then go back to the crappy posting or talking. You need to back it up. You need to have a proper strategy to go all in.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever it is that you decide on, pick it and just go with it.
Go, yeah, exactly. Non-stop. Just keep going. I mean, be ready to change it if you have to, but you have to go all the way in.
And would you say that's the same thing for like any platform wherever you are, or would you have different plans for different platforms?
You should, because platforms are just like places, right? Like real places in real life. So people go to church, they act differently than going to Arby's or going to whatever, right? So so in a way you need to learn the talk, right? You go and investigate how people are developing not just brands but themselves into these different platforms, right? So, and you want to mimic a little bit of it. It's fine that you're going to create your own style and you're going to create your own way to do things, but you go to Twitter to be sort of a dickhead. That's Twitter, right? You just go there and be a troll and complain about everything, and that's what Twitter. Look at the most popular brands on Twitter. Ryanair has some of the worst customer service in the world. Everybody hates them, but their social media is hot. Wendy's is I mean, it's not even the best. I love Wendy's. It's not the best burger in the US. It's not the most popular at all.
Yeah.
But they're rocking social media big time. And in real life, they actually converted that into sales too, because they learned how to act. Duolingo was so lame not too long ago, right? Yeah. And suddenly they went all in and all crazy on Twitter. And now everybody's talking about Duolingo again. I'm not sure about the sales in that side, but you learn to act the way that everybody's acting on that very specific platform. And then you bring your sort of extra bling into it.
Your kind of spice.
Exactly. Your extra craziness, right?
I mean, then the next thing is for Threads in that case. That's a whole nother beast.
That is crazy. I'm very surprised and sort of happy, because I'm one of those people don't like Elon Musk too much. So I'm sort of happy, like, yeah, give him work, give him hell, like, see what they can do. Because after all, Twitter became a nasty place, and I mean, there's a reason why brands are leaving mostly. They're just sort of like still trying to, like, what's going on, what's going to happen, but they see something cleaner like Threads, and they're like, well, there's already 100 million people there. Like, we cannot miss this chance, and they just start focusing on the new one. But it's also sort of the bad thing that marketers do, is that we always jump into the next new shiny thing, right? There's a new platform that we need to go and investigate and develop something in there. I mean, what's going to happen? Nobody knows, right? But maybe Threads is going to be just like a quick trend, and then everybody's going back to Twitter because, I don't know, Elon hit a baby or something. I don't know.
It does something crazy with it, or completely revamps it, since it looks like a complete copy, right?
Exactly.
I hear that you've decided to embark on an ice cream adventure in Portugal. What made you decide on this in particular? And will you continue consulting work?
In the ideal world, so basically I'm tired. I don't think anyone can do one thing forever, right? You get tired of it. And it's not that I'm leaving marketing completely. It's that I just want to market my own stuff. I don't want to have to deal with people like, no, I don't understand the tone of voice that you're creating for our company. I'm like, damn it. No, it's my company. I create my tone of voice and I don't care. and we done ice cream before. We tried this sort of idea with popsicles before and it worked great. So now we need to take it to a place that's constant summer so we can sell them all year long. And I'm always been attached to cooking too. It's one of my favorite things to do. So it was the perfect mix. I'll be open to consult, I guess, if it's in a matter of more of a mentor call, right? It's just something that you want to call. I'm like, all right, let's have a call for $100 and we can talk for a couple of hours about what you're doing. I'm more than happy to give you some advice and then you do you. That's probably will be my ideal consulting shape. But all the rest, I want to make sure my own little brand works and hopefully all the things I learn in marketing, I can apply it to them and make it a success. We'll see how it goes.
So are you going to have a water lemon flavor?
Water lemon flavor? I have to.
Hell
We're already testing some crazy flavors too. But I should have a water lemon flavor.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Like it would be against the whole name and brand that you built up.
Exactly. It will be like I'm not listening to my own advice.
So, but why Portugal?
Well, I mean, I'm in Europe. I live in Poland at the moment. I've been in Poland for the last 8 years almost. We always, my wife and I, we always loved the beach, the ocean. That's probably the easiest place to go where still things happening, still like a cool vibe. Economy is not that bad. And so it's like a perfect beach place just to go and reinvent ourselves for one more time.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. And we're going to stick in Europe because the kids are in school. So we'll still be close to the kids. And
that is freaking.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely like the right place to be. Besides Portugal, it's beautiful.
That is freaking amazing. I love that. And so there's one question that I ask everyone that comes on board here, and that is, what is the biggest societal norm that you want to push back on and teach others about in whatever sense?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. I think I would love to push people to go back to be good and show what you have or what you got, but by example, not by telling people what to do. It's just like people need to see that you're doing certain things so they can learn that you're doing something right. They need to see you, not to hear you about it. I think there's a lot of talking about like, this is what you should do or this is what you shouldn't do. I'm more of the idea of like, I want to see what happened. And if you're open to show your experience, and that applies to many moral places too. Yeah. It's like, you don't need to tell me what to do. You just show me how that works for you so I can make my own decisions. And I think that could help also just bring back the people being nice to each other. I think we're missing a little bit of that.
Yeah, hell yeah. So basically lead by example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show what your values are. And same thing for brands, right? At the end of the day, show what your values are. Show your human side.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot be like, we're all about human beings and then treat your employees like crap. I mean, you really need to show by example.
Exactly. Thank you for joining, Marcos. I really appreciate it. How can people reach you?
The best place to go and find me is on LinkedIn. There are not many Marcos Bravos in there, so I'm sure I'll be easy to find. And if you have any questions or anything, or just want to chat, I'm more than happy to connect with you. I'm not selling anything at the moment, so I'll be super sales on my talk as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. I'm there all the time. So yeah.
Thank you. So those details will also be in the episode description. And drop any questions you'd like answered about the show in the comments. And of course, stay badass.
Badass!